Back this week with one of the most hotly anticipated ranges of new ukuleles that have been announced. Keep watching. Yes, welcome back. It's GotAUkulele review day, as ever, with the summary video review to accompany the full written review that you'll always find linked in the description box below these videos. There's also some links down there where you can do what these people have done. I say every week, my thank yous go out to people who donate through a beer, Patreon, that kind of stuff, buy me a coffee, because they keep this site going. I can't do it without the donations because I don't take money from brands to do adverts for them. It's purely an independent enterprise, so thanks so much. You can help out too if you look at those links below. You can also help out by subscribing to the YouTube channel. That's really important too. Hit the bell symbol, you'll get notified of new stuff, and that helps my exposure and more people see these video reviews. Right, let's get straight into it. A new model from a very well-liked brand that's featured many times on my website. I learned about it towards the end of last year and reached out to them, and thankfully they've loaned me one. I think this one's going to be pretty popular and very, very much anticipated. This is the new Flight Navigator tenor. Electroacoustic tenor, the EQA Navigator tenor, also available in baritone. And let's just take a moment just to have a look at that. Now, bias. I love Sunburst instruments. I've got Sunburst Gibson guitar over there. I absolutely love them on instruments. So I love this. I absolutely adore it. A Sunburst is just right up my street. I appreciate that's not for everybody. Some people don't. I do. I put that out there as conscious bias. I think it's absolutely wonderful. But let's just get into the detail of it. This is an all solid wood instrument. What we've got is solid flamed maple on the top and solid Indian rosewood on the back and sides. Nice pairing, bright chimey sound from the maple, darkened off with the rosewood on the back and sides, and the contrast, I think, is wonderful. It does look like a Gibson guitar. And the Sunburst, buffed out in the middle to this paler orange, darker on the upper bouts. I would just say on this, have a look online for where you're buying from, because these vary quite a bit because they're all sort of hand buffed out. Some I've seen are a lot more orange on the top. This one much darker on the top bouts and only orange down on the bottom. I prefer that, but if you like the fully orange ones, they're available. Check with the dealer if they will send you pictures of the instrument that they're going to sell to you, and then you won't be disappointed. But I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think it's one of the prettiest flights I've ever seen, probably one of my favourite looking flights. It's just right up my street on the looks, and tell me if you disagree. I appreciate this is very subjective. The bridge is the same as on several other flights, including things like the Fireball, not massively decorated. It's a rosewood pin bridge, very, very tidy. And the pins they've capped with little plastic inlaid gems. I'm glad they went with white on these rather than the divisive blue or red they've used before. That is just enough. Gives it a little bit of detail with little gold rings around them. And the saddle is made of bone and is compensated on the top. The body is finished in a gloss, which is an absolute fingerprint magnet, as all glosses are, but it is not overly done. It's not overly thick. It's deep gloss, but it's not overly thick. There's no pooling around here or anything like that. It's very nicely done indeed, and it really sets these colours off. Elsewhere on the body, you'll spot this, and that's because it's got one of these in it. This is what Flight do. They fit. This is only available with the double pickup system in it now. I don't like pickup systems pre-installed. I'd rather there wasn't one there, but if I'm going to have one, I'd have one with the controls here rather than a big ugly box on the side and a battery compartment down here. It's all self-contained. It doesn't destroy the look of the instrument. It does add weight, which we'll come on to. I'd rather not have them, but as I say, if you're going to have one, I can kind of live with that. And other than that, all very tidy. Nothing else to say on the body. This is just killer look. Inside, pretty tidy, bit of glue around, notch linings, thin little braces, and the braces, of course, like on most recent flights, are drilled through to reduce weight whilst maintaining stability. It's a Canelair thing. Nice body, nice body. Oh, we've got the scallop cutaway, and we also have a comfort edge on this lower bout as well. So it's all very comfortable to hold as well. The neck, like some other flights, also made of mahogany. There's a joint here. It's split down the middle with a joint, and it has a black skunk stripe running right through it, which terminates up at the top there. And there's another joint up at the headstock. It's all cleverly done, and nice to see again, finished in satin, so it's nice and quick on the hands. It's not, it's rounded up here, but not overly so, but it's got a very roomy 38mm nut, 30 from G2A. The fingerboard is made of rosewood, and this one came to me direct from flight. Needs cleaning up. Have a look at some of the pictures on the website. It's quite scruffy. The QC's not been done that well on that. There's quite a few little marks. It looks a bit dry. It needs work. The frets, 19 of those, semi-hemi dressed on the ends, so absolutely no sharp edges because there are no ends to sprout. Very, very smooth. 19 of those, 14 to the body. And I like these position dots, markers, inlaid in wood, little triangles at 5, 7, 10, 12 and 15, and white dots on the side as well. Yeah, that's all quite nice. It's a nice neck. It's just let down by the scruffiness here. Shouldn't have arrived to me like that. The nut is bone. The setup on this is good. It's been set up, presumably by flight before they sent it to me, understandably. And then we have the usual flight open framed headstock, which I've always liked. And I really like it with this flamed maple on the top of it. That just looks great. Tiger stripey. That's really nice. The tuners I've seen before on flight, they may be Pro L or something like that, but they're black open gears with gold trims on the posts. They're really smooth. They've got nice ratio. They work very well. This comes as standard with Worth brown strings and the now famous flight padded gig bag that everybody likes. They're really good. And the price in the UK, so these are Southern Ukulele Store, $469. So it's a serious amount of money. It's cheaper than the Sammy Turton. It's cheaper than the Fireball, a little bit, but it's considerably more money than things like the Carabao. Now, I say about this one what I said about the Sammy Turton. I think flight fans won't balk at that sort of price, and I think I can see where the money is. But bear in mind, this is just cosmetic changes. It's just a standard ukulele. There's no development in this other than the fact they put a sunburst on the top and they changed the woods on the body. So like the Sammy Turton, I just a little bit two minds on the price as to whether it's great value for money. I think it's good value for money, but $469, $489 for the Fireball, something like $389 for the Carabao. I think it's too far up, but I'm not choking at it. And there we are. You can tell I really, really love it. The look of it is killer. Looks don't make any sound, of course, so we've got other departments to get into. But I think it's a really, really attractive looking instrument that people are going to go mad for. Very well built, fingerprint magnet, as I say, very well built, really nice finish to it. I would like an option without the pickup, I always say that. It's quite hefty because there's a pickup in there. It's balanced nicely. It's 735 grams, which is quite heavy for a tenor. But you know, there we are. There we are. That's one of them. Let's have a play, because this is what it's all about. So we've got maple, which is a very bright sounding wood, but we've got the rosewood. Do like these tuners. Very, very, you turn the key and the tuning is quite slow, which is kind of what you want, because you can really dial in. And the sound you can hear, it's very bright. The volume is great. Sustain. There. Good sustain, great volume. Very bright. And too bright for me for a tenor. And these are Worth brown strings, which I tend to find sort of warm things up a bit. jangly, harmonising with itself. You can hear it sounds like there's more strings than 4, which is a nice thing. It means it's a competent instrument. But subjectively, I prefer my tenors to sound a bit woodier and a bit darker. It's not unattractive, very, very clear. Very, very bright. But it suits play like this. Strum that I find too zingy. Picking's lovely. Nice ukulele, nice sound. I'd like it darker, that's me, but I know a lot of people love those zingy, fizzy, very bright sounding instruments. I just prefer them on a smaller scale myself. On a tenor, I'd like it a bit woodier, but sounds like I'm being critical. I'm not being critical because this is a very accomplished instrument. The looks, for me alone, oh wow. I mean, I just have that on the wall. Just look at it every day because it's really, 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 really pretty. Apart from the fingerprints, which I've now covered it with. Bit scruffy on the QC down here. I wouldn't want the pickup. I don't need the pickup. I'd fit one myself if I wanted one, a passive. But I know why Flight do it. 469, about 510 euros. Feels like it's a bit too much up that end for the mid-range of the Flights, and maybe it should have been sort of more like 400 or 420 or something like that. But again, I'm nitpicking. These are going to fly off the shelves. The Flight EQA Navigator tenor, as I say, also available in baritone. What a beautiful looking instrument, really well made as well. Another great Flight option. They're developing. I mean, there's only so much development you can do with the ukulele, so there's no new development in this other than the fact they've changed the decor. But then that's why people enjoy clothes shopping, because fashion's changed. It's about having options, isn't it? And this is a very, very pretty one. And I really like Sunburst, and I'm going on and on and on. So I'm going to stop. Thank you very much to Flight for the loan of this one. It's a really nice instrument. Thank you very much. I hope it does very, very well, and I think Flight fans will love it. Thank you to you for watching and your ongoing support. That's been a fun one to do. I am back next week. Got loads more coming up in the calendar before I take my next little break. What's coming next week? Something special. So you can stay tuned for that one in 7 days' time. And until then, look after yourselves. Have a very good week ahead. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.